Well, I love that umbrella guy.
My wife and I love that umbrella guy. We love that umbrella guy.
So if you love that umbrella guy too, make sure that you're subbed, make sure that you hit that bell for daily notifications. And if you love that umbrella guy and want to help out in different ways, well, there are links in the description. More on those at the end of the video. So today we are returning to that wonderful world of litigation. And whoever thought that litigation would be so interesting? I mean, sometimes I find myself looking at lawsuits filed because I feel like I want to point my finger and laugh. But this, it's different because this, it can have meaningful and lasting impact. This, it seeks to challenge 280 character culture. You know, that culture born on Twitter and Tumblr where you have the court of social media or trial by accusation become the rule of the land. And well, this basically takes that to court and says, yeah, you can't do that. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with what's transpiring here, you definitely need to go back and look at it. Because essentially what you have happen is in January, a guy has his life and livelihood wrecked. You either have people brigading, trying to destroy his reputation, to call him a P to the E to the D to the O, or worse, you know, if there can be a worse. What they do is they conspire to intimidate and coerce. They get conventions to drop the man. They get companies to drop him. And then one company itself goes out and makes some interestingly baffling statements. When you look at them, you think, why exactly would you do that? Now, the guy, he tries to salvage things. He tries his damnedest to do so, and he tries to do that nicely. And you know, of course, that doesn't work because, well, you know that culture out there. So, of course, it goes to court. In this court case, it has been awesome to watch play out because some of the things that you see pointed out there, yeah, it shows how some people, they will do anything to try to take that blame away from them. And the way they do it, it's not only baffling, but it opens up other doors that can truly do damage. This, in my opinion, it does damage too. Not just because of what's said here, but really what's tied in exhibits. When you go through this, I'm going to give you a very quick summary of certain things because I think you can have a better explanation of the blow-by-blow from, say, a Nick Rekieta. But there's certain things that are tied in this that open up specific doors. They do that through lies, either through lies of omission or flagrant lies. I mean, when you look at some of this, it is flagrantly lying to you. What you have here is a response to motion to quash and for entry of confidentiality and protective orders and motion to compel. Now this, it starts off basically talking about you need to give us your client so we can depose him first. This is the defendants talking about Vic Mignogna, and it goes back and forth through emails. They say at one point, of course, that there actually isn't any kind of procedural law or procedural rule that makes that so, but there's an insightful order that says, well, this should take place, so you need to act accordingly. This is actually noted right here. You can see that noted. While there is no procedural rule that touches on this directly, an insightful order comes from the. So they tell you, hey, even though there's no procedural rule that stipulates that we have to be able to talk to your client first, well, you need to do that anyhow. Then it gets into other things. And the other things are what I find fascinating because some of these, they feel like they could be utilized to do some serious damage. You see Rekieta law brought up in this. I'm going to read you some portions here because I want you to see how this is set up. And then I want to show you some exhibits that are tied to that. You see the little 7, the 8, and on. We'll go look at those ourselves. So in conjunction with the motion to quash, plaintiff seeks a protective order, but does not provide any evidence. Instead, plaintiff relies on generally accusing defendants of some possible nefarious reasons for the deposition and concludes that the parties may be embarrassed and therefore in need a protective order. As demonstrated above, plaintiff's failure to support these allegations with any evidence should cause the request to be summarily denied. Not only that, but they'll go on later on to say, hey, we're going to bring up some other motions too because you made us do it. And since you made us do it, you need to pay for those as well. Now, I thought this was telling by itself because possible nefarious reasons. You know, Ron TOYE and Monica RIAL. They wouldn't have any kind of possible nefarious reasons to do anything, would they? They wouldn't try to take something that, say, happens in personal and tie it to professional, or they wouldn't say something that's totally untrue and unjust and try to strap it to someone's life like a time bomb because, hey, we can do that. No, never. They're not that kind of people. I mean, we haven't been seeing them do that for months. Then this continues on, and it brings in some stuff that, well, it can do some damage, I think. So plaintiff's actions outside of this lawsuit have proven that his request for confidentiality is disingenuous, and he is wasting the court's valuable time and resources. Plaintiff's attorney have appeared on episodes of YouTube channel for Rekieta Law, describing the facts of the case, the pleadings, and the defendants, providing images and evidence they intend to use in the case, and discussing their legal strategy. Now, what I want you to notice right off the bat from this is they talk about plaintiff's actions, but what they'll keep talking about are things like plaintiff's attorneys. Plaintiff's actions are anything but plaintiff's actions. Now, what they're going to do here is actually bring up defendants' actions, and they're going to do that unintentionally, which I think could open up a very interesting question and cause them some true problems, depending. Now, Rekieta Law is a YouTube channel that describes on its own webpage the following. He's a lawyer who law-splains legal topics on the internet, fueled by whiskey and rage. Plaintiff's attorney are sharing information about the case with Nick Rekieta, the creator of YouTube channel, to be dispersed to plaintiff's fan base and viewers of Rekieta Law. Many of Rekieta Law's episodes have over 75,000 views from different individuals. I really hate little things like this too, pretending that 75,000 views equals 75,000 unique individuals looking at something. But then again, they're talking to people that don't understand the internet. Continuing here. Furthermore, plaintiffs' attorneys have even attempted to sell merchandise, patches, and t-shirts in support of Ty Beard and plaintiff with the slogan "Fear the Beard" as a way to intimidate defendants and rile up the fan base of plaintiff. Now, I want you to remember that. They note that plaintiff's attorneys are trying to sell shirts there, even though we'll look at the exhibit and, well, it doesn't say that. It actually says Nick Rekieta is trying to sell it. So you're talking about something that is utterly disingenuous there. The amount of publicity and public attention that plaintiff voluntarily created and continues to create regarding this case shows that he has no actual concern for the protection of confidentiality or the sensitivity of the subject matter. You know, because attorney going out and conducting interviews, attorneys saying that my client is innocent and here's why and here's how we're going to fight that, equals attorney going out and saying that, well, you know, my client, this is actually his voice. No, that's not how that worked. Plaintiff has not talked about that. Plaintiff has not actually gone out and tried to indulge in this endeavor at all. In fact, he has tried to move beyond it, and he has tried not to be the public face of litigation. He has actually tried to move past it and continue to be a professional. Crazy, huh? So when we look at the exhibits tied to this, you can see these. Like when we roll up, you can see the exhibits tied in here. Now, the exhibits, they're very interesting because you see, like Bleeding Fool. Now, Bleeding Fool is a very good site. The name comes from a mockery of Bleeding Cool, which is actually pretty funny. If you've never checked them out, Bleeding Fool, you should do so. This is an article that's talking about what exactly has transpired when it comes to quote-unquote Anime Gate. It talks about how this sets up people that have been involved in this, and then it goes into talking about the Ty Beard attachment and explaining a lot of this stuff in ways that I think could be potentially damning. I mean, if somebody were to go through and read this, A judge goes through and he hears about certain tactics that have been utilized, for example, to say intimidate conventions out there. Yeah, maybe he would get a bad look at this. Maybe he would get a bad feel for all of these things. Or even worse, when you talk about what's happened to Nick Rekieta, his professional career has been under attack by the same people. As attorneys, Nick and Ty are both held to high standards of behavior in their practice by distinctly different governing professional ethics boards. Nick has received 2 terrorist attacks in the form of quote-unquote ethics complaints from separate SJWs. Risking both financial and criminal consequences, the terrorists have tried to bully Nick into silencing with their ill-conceived actions. Now that sounds terrible. But you know what's even worse than that? Who the people were that did these quote-unquote terrorist actions. Because one of them is the client here, Ron TOYE. That's right. If you go back and you review exactly what transpired, the guy who wouldn't try to damage anyone's career at all, the guy who is just an innocent dude repeating things, yeah, he's not only tried to damage one person out there, but he has tried to damage Nick Rekieta. Not just there, but he has tried to get other people to do the same thing, to file complaints against him, and has said that he wants to do that because he wants to do it, well, because it would be damaging. He has gone back and forth saying that and some other things that might be going on, you know, those that he's threatened to conjure after this, yeah, he's made it very, very clear that he'll destroy a life. And well, I think that it showcases that he wouldn't just destroy one life. No, he wouldn't stop at 2 lives. He would destroy as many lives as it takes to pretty much get his own way. I think that that's damning. And I think reading through this thing is pretty damning too. In fact, I think that what I want to do is take this and put it into its own video to read through the article to you. And imagine you being a judge that knows nothing about what's going on, looking at what's there. Imagine you seeing that. You tell me, is that good or is that bad? Now, the other parts there, you have the other exhibit that talks about the YouTube channel being fueled on, whiskey and rage. So you can actually see that. It's pretty small there, but there's no need to blow that up. And then here's the Fear the Beard stuff. Image of Rekieta Law selling Fear the Beard merchandise. Hey, wait a minute. Image of Rekieta Law selling. So when we go back and we look at this, plaintiff's attorney have even attempted to sell merchandise in support of. Wait, that's not what that says, is it? In fact, that is very misleading, and that is disingenuous, and that too showcases this attempt to stretch the truth in a way that, well, you may consider befitting at the time, but that might be damaging too. But anyhow, I'll leave you with this stuff here. You tell me what you think about it. So as I said at the beginning of the video, if you like this kind of content, sub, hit that bell, like what you like, and make sure that you check out the links if you want to do so. One of those is The Case of the Littlest Umbrella. We have 2 comic books attached to it. It is our first endeavor to basically send a message that says, gatekeepers, well, we can go around you if we want. And we've done quite well thanks to you. That's one of the things that I think a lot of these people have forgotten. They have forgotten that all of these endeavors, they're done because of you. So leave your comments about what you think about what we just discussed, whether or not you think that this stuff is damning, because I think that it pretty much is. And also remember that you make endeavors possible. So while these people forget it, look at places that actually encourage you, that actually appreciate you, and forget those that can't remember who put them there. So anyhow, I want to thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll do it again soon. Thanks.